adjustable headrest, different positions for the arm pads, different positions for the foot pads, 15 different angle positions for the backrest, and 5 different positions for the seat. This is the TT Flex utility bench, and this should be something that needs to be in the US market. Let's talk about it. Hey y'all, this is Danny with DD Fitness, and this is the last video of my 3-part series of my purchases through Alibaba. If you haven't seen my last 2, make sure to go into my videos and check them out. I got some really good stuff on those last 2. Just as I mentioned in the last 2, this video is not talking about how to purchase with Alibaba, more just about what I purchased through Alibaba. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that because I already talked about it in the last 2 videos. So let's go ahead and talk about this beaut of a bench from TT Flex. And from what I can tell, you cannot get this bench anywhere, at least in the US market, unless you purchase it from Alibaba. Even when I do a search, I can't really find any companies outside of the manufacturer in Alibaba that actually sells this to any third-party companies. So whether or not you can actually find it or not, I don't know. But I got it from Alibaba. It took me 3 months to get here. And this is probably, out of all the benches I have ever used, my favorite bench that I have purchased up to date. And that's a very, very close with my my bench that I use daily from Dezhou, which is just another white label bench from Alibaba. But it's an absolutely tank. It's a solid bench. And I use that for every single thing, but I've been using this just to play with it a little bit more over the last couple of weeks, and this thing is starting to be one of my favorite benches. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the specs and the features and why I think that this needs to be in the US market. Okay, so just to talk about some of the features of this bench, and it comes with a lot of different positions and angles that you can set up on this. For the headrest, it is foldable, so it does kind of go in line with the new style of benches with the fold-away headrest. And it does have 5 different angles that you can set for this. And the frame, as far as the metal for this, is extremely thick. I mean, this is by far, without a doubt, a commercial grade bench. But you do get 5 different angles for this. For the arm pads, there is 5 different positions as well that you can set this up on. And it comes with a pull pin. Let me show it to you. And this is just really nice because this is not like what you see from RitFit that uses, actually, I don't know how they do it. I think you got to screw it in. Yeah, actually, if I'm not mistaken, you have to screw it in. And that's a lot of time wasted. Where this, you just simply pull it in and you're locking it in place. Plus, you get 5 different positions that you can set up for this. And it's really good depending on what you're doing for the workouts. Now, not only that, it does also give you 3 positions that you can take this off and put it down here for the footrest or for the foot pad. And it does give you 3 different positions down there that you can adjust for the height. And it also comes with 5 different angle positions of where you can put that foot pad on there. And as far as as far as my research, I don't think I've ever come across a bench that actually has an adjustable angle for the foot pad. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. But I don't recall a bench having an adjustable foot pad. What it could be used for, I am still trying to figure out this bench since I've never used one as far as what the aspect of that down there. But it's really nice that it does give you those positions. And I know I have used it for when I do like crunches, and it allows me to put my foot in a different position. Also, it does come with decline, so you can also use that for leg support for your decline as well. Okay, now as far as the seat, I think this thing is a very exceptionally well-built bench with the seat on here. The seat has very good, solid, firm cushion on the inside. The fabric on here is very sticky, so it doesn't have a slick fabric on here. It is 2.5 inches thick, so it definitely gives you a very nice thick pad that's on here. And then as far as the specs for it, it is, I believe, about 14 inches wide, if I'm not mistaken. Let me get my measuring tape for it. So at the widest point, you do have 14 inches. The back seat for the two, you have the first bottom part that's going to be roughly about 21.5 inches, and then the headrest is going to be about 11.5. And then for the seat's going to be about 14 inches. Now total, I don't have the numbers added up total for it, but I can tell you the dimensions for this later, so that way you'll have the numbers for this, and I promise they won't be feet. All right, so the seating on here is really nice, and I like that it has these contour spots right here, and it fits really, it shapes to your body really good. Now, I'm not a big bench person. I don't know if the contours right here really matters or not, but I will say that it's very nice, so that way when I'm doing curls on here, the pad is not too thick like it is down here for the lumbar support. So that way there's space right here to be able to get free motion for doing whatever you need to for bicep workouts, triceps, whatever you're doing. And then I just did inclines on here, and this thing feels phenomenal on here as well. Now, as far as the rollers, man, this thing is thick. I mean, this is a really, really wide roller, and the foam in here is really good. The quality of the material matches the same as the seat, and they feel really solid, just like any other commercial grade style fabric that they use on there. So this thing is built like a tank, and I really like that it has these pull pins, as I mentioned earlier. They can spin off as well, just to come off, and they're actually stainless steel, and they have a little bit of texture right here. Wish it was knurling, but I mean, it's the same thing, but I like that they use actual stainless steel pins on there. Now, as far as some of the other features that's on here, as I mentioned earlier, there's 15 different angle positions you can do for the seat rest. And the angles, they use decimals in a couple of them. So you have your traditional, of course, your 0, 45, and 90 degrees. This is a 90-degree bench. But then in between, you have as much as 7.5, and you have 15, then 22.5. You have 30, 37.5, 45, 52.5, 60, 67.5, 75, 82.5, and then 90. So there's not a lot of benches that do decimals. I remember when the original GMWD chest, the V7 came out, it had decimal points that Coop had talked about in this video, and they corrected it. So I don't know if that's kind of an overseas market settings for those seatings, but it doesn't matter to me. I like that they're nice and labeled. Everything is etch print on there, so you know every single position on here. And as far as the decline, you have 0, negative 7.5, and then negative 15. So this does go all the way down to negative 15, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, so probably one of my most favorite features of this bench is the seat adjuster on here. This thing has a quick release pedal down here that you can just either push down on, or I just step down on it, and it just allows it to adjust immediately. And out of all the adjustable benches I've used, I think this is probably the quickest quick release that I've seen. I don't even have to bend down. I can just push down and just drop it, and it locks in place really good. It has teeth that's on the back of here, and the teeth on here is just absolutely solid. And as you can see, this thing is high tolerance. There is no wobble whatsoever in this bench. I mean, this thing is built like a tank. The weight for it is, I think it's 45 kilograms, so about 90, almost 100 pounds, give or take in that area. I believe it was either 40 or 45 kilograms, which was listed for it. And this thing it feels heavy, it's nice and solid. It's got really good stoppers on the bottom to keep it from sliding, even on the rubber. It's a really good bench as far as those aspects go for it. Now, as far as the release down there, it is spring loaded. I'll show you a video how it operates up under here, but it is spring loaded, and it keeps it in really good place. And I didn't really plan on using this for like doing chest press and stuff like that, but I did use it doing the Smith machine, and I had 225 on there, and this thing just held up absolutely nice. Now, as far as going back to the seat, the one thing I really like how they designed the seat is most benches, when you start adjusting the seat, the bottom of the lip down here goes behind the seat. And so as you start to push it up, if this seat is up, the seat itself pushes against the backrest, it kind of squishes the cushions. The way that TT Flex designed this is that the backrest goes on top of the seat. And if I adjust this, I can still adjust it without there being any crinkle right here, or it doesn't get any tight. Like, it actually will let me put it in a 30-degree angle. I mean, I absolutely don't have no use to use it like this personally, but it is nice that the way that this is designed is it's designed not to squish the two seats together. Now, it does have a gap in the seat, and it's a pretty nice design and how they did the gap, because the gap, let's take a look at it real quick. The gap itself is pretty wide. It's about 2.5 inches. But because they designed it to where it has the cushion that goes around it right here, and then it hits the backrest, it's almost like there's still a gap right here, but it's like almost a zero gap. So you don't really feel that hole, at least for me personally, I don't feel it. And then the hinge is dropped down a little bit into the cushion, so that way you don't feel that bar against your back or your butt as you do it. But you also get your support right here on the sides, and I like that. I'm not sure if there's any other benches I can think of again that has that particular design, at least not for home gyms. So I like that that's how that's designed on there. Okay, so as I mentioned, I really like the way the armrest feels when you're up against it. It does feel really good because it's nice and wide, so it does feel good to where you can put your arms in a nice stretch position before you come up, and it just feels really good. And there's no pressure that you feel on your elbows as you pull up on these. Even when I have this in a more of an incline, it feels really good, depending on where I put these angles at on here. And again, it sits nice and tight against your elbows, and I'm able to get a really good curl out of it and keeping my arms nice and stable. And these pads are nice and solid, so that way it doesn't move or your arms start to fall in because of weak foam on there. Okay, so I also did mention that the headrest is adjustable, as I mentioned, and it does allow you to be able to use it so that way if you wanted to do like chest supported rows or anything like that, you feel really, really good against this. And you can even go as far as to use these for curls as well. So that way if you wanted to do chest supported curls, kind of like a preacher, you also have that option as well. So this thing really gives you a lot of versatilities. Okay, now as far as the foot holder, I'm still trying to find out the use of it as far as using it for different angles and what's the benefit of it. I don't really know because I've never had to use a bench or have a bench that ever had that kind of feature. So it's really interesting to have it on there. So I'm not going to go into a lot of details about it because I can't talk about something I don't know. But I will say that I do like using it to be able to use it for crunches, decline, and then also being able to use it for decline presses. So it is interesting that it has it on there, but I don't know how to use it. So again, if you have any comments or suggestions, let me know. Maybe that'll give me some ideas on how to use it. Now, as far as the pull pins are very solid. Just make sure that you keep them nice and screwed in because they do come loose a little bit, as do all pull pins. But I wish I could have got them in a different color, but they said that I couldn't get it, so unfortunately not. Now, as far as the company that I ordered it from, I believe they are the OEM actually manufacturer for this. I think they're the company that actually sells it. And it does come in different colors. I just chose to go with black, but I know they have like a lime green I think they have red, blue, and some other colors that you can get. So you can go to the website or to Alibaba and go to their page and ask for their catalog, and they can show you what they do as far as the colorings for this. But I just chose to go with the traditional black color on it. Now it will come in a crate. In the crate, everything, the whole frame was basically put together. The only pieces that I had to put on here was the seats, the handles. I did have to put the handle on down here, and then I just had to put on the back cross member for the foot plate down there, and then everything else was just already attached. So this thing doesn't come in a small box like benches you get from the US. This thing comes in a full-size freight. Actually, I take that back. I apologize. It didn't come in a freight as far as a cargo box, but it did come in just one box. The box was pretty beat up and actually tore apart, but the whole inside was still protected. So I don't know why it wasn't sending a crate just for overseas stuff, but the box was good enough. I mean, it did have some reinforced frames around it to keep it stable and from getting it crushed. But again, I got this unscathed. There was no problem with it. But this is the only thing that I got from Alibaba that didn't come in a wooden crate box. Now, as far as the powder coating on here, the powder coating is good, but I can already tell that like we're down here where I have to put the pads on, and it's because it doesn't have any UHMW in there or anything to protect it. It's metal on metal, so as you start to slide it onto the lock positions, you'll start to get marks on it. Personally, I don't care, but I think that UHMW would have been nice to have that in there just to keep the cosmetics appealing and not have a bunch of lines and marks on it. Now, this bench is not technically designed to do upright storage, but technically you can. What I'll do is I'll put it in the full decline position, and then it will stay up for the most part. The only thing is that because it's on these teeth, if it's not positioned right, it can start to roll out. But for the most part, it does pretty good staying in position. But as far as when I put it in the decline, but it would have been nice if they had like a pin that you can lock in place so that way it doesn't move back and forth and protect the bench from falling over or messing up. So it doesn't have a pin to lock the teeth in place, and I wish it had that on there. Also, one thing that I did notice as well when I use this is that a little bit of a flaw for the way this is designed. If you have these up at the top position and you put the headrest all the way down, the headrest won't be able to lock into that last position because it'll sit on top of these. So just keep in mind, if you're using these and you pull this down, you're not going to be able to lock into that very last position. It'll have to go one up. And that's a design flaw as far as I'm concerned, because you should be able to use this in any position, even if these are at the top holes. And so not being able to lock it in that last position just kind of bothers me a little bit. However, I've used it in this position, don't have any issues, so I can't really complain about it. It's just more of a pet peeve of mine that if you're going to have something that has holes in it, it should be able to fit in it in all the positions and not have any issues. Now, this thing is a very durable bench. I was told that, which is weird, but I'm not surprised because it is, as far as I'm concerned, in my opinion, a utility bench. They did say that it can handle up to 300 kilograms. So what, around 100 pounds. And for most home gym users, you're not gonna have a problem with it. I weigh 250 and I bench press 225, and I felt absolutely great on here with no issues. So even though, and I really do feel that this might be able to handle a little bit more weight, but I think they said that to be safe just because it does have a release handle down there and it's sitting on these teeth. And, you know, it's just a way for them to safeguard. But I know when I talked to them, they said they hadn't really actually tested it to see what the maximum weight load is on there. But, I mean, for me, 600 some pounds is more than enough and very good for me to use this. But I also do just plan on using this as a utility bench. Now, another thing that I feel like is a bit of a design flaw is the way that this handle interacts with this foot plate holder, because it's fine if it's like down here, because you can grab it nice and easy right here. But if at any time it's out right here or even up here, you can still kind of grab, but then it becomes an instruction to be able to grab it properly. So you have to grab it underhand to pull it up. So unless you want to grab it overhand, the best way is to pull this out the way, and that way you can pull this up. So I feel like that's a bit of a design flaw, because this thing you definitely feel it on your fingers if you grab it right there and then you pull and it hits your hand. So just grab it from underneath and you'll be good to go. Okay, now as far as the dimensions on here, this is kind of a traditional size bench. The height of it is your traditional 17.5, so it does meet standards, and it feels very solid at that height. The length on here is 55.5 inches, and then the width without the arm pads on there is 14 inches wide. So you got 55.5 inches long, 14 inches wide, and then 17.5 high. As I mentioned earlier, the weight on this is about 45 kilograms, which gives you about 90 to 95 pounds, give or take. And then it does have a capacity, weight capacity as far as benching, 600 plus user weight. So about 600 plus pounds, if not more. Considering how solid and durable this thing is, I can't believe that this thing can handle, as much as 800 pounds. But again, for me, I'm not going to be benching that much, so I don't have to worry about going over that. So this is the TT Flex utility bench purchased off of Alibaba. Now, this bench actually really wasn't that expensive, even with the tariffs. The purchase of this bench before the DDP, I want to say was like $250, give or take, or something like that. I think the final price, and again, I'll put it down here, was it was south of 500. It wasn't over 600. I'm sorry, it was south of 600. I could be wrong. Again, I'll put the numbers down there, but around that range, no more than 650 if it was in the 600 range. I mean, this is priced to, as far as I'm concerned, to be competitive with more of the higher ends like the Rogue and Rep benches that's out there, but just give you a little bit more utility use out of it. And it's a very versatile bench as far as I'm concerned. Now, as I mentioned, it did take about 3 to 4 months to get it. I think for this, I ordered this in, I want to say January, and I got it in March. So I did get this a little bit faster than the other two products. Those were ordered in November, December, and this one, actually, I think that was the roll machine was ordered in January, and this might have been either late January or February. So the bench actually did come pretty quick, because they actually had one in inventory, so they sent it out to me, and I didn't have to wait for production on it. So again, I'll put the link to this company. If you're curious about TT Flex, or if you never heard about them, they are a company to look into off of Alibaba in general. They sell racks, they sell benches, they sell gym equipment, but they do a lot of custom work on the racks and stuff. You can get custom colors, you can get custom designs, you can get stainless steel. Some of their racks looks really amazing, just from the catalog that I had from them. They offer really a lot of good products, and they work with you very closely to make sure that you're happy with your products. So they are a manufacturer, but they are a manufacturer of this brand, and I absolutely love this product. Everything that I bought from Alibaba has just been phenomenal. These are not pieces of equipment that's easily found in the US, especially for the TT Flex. I don't know of any company that would probably ever sell this available in the US. And this is probably a bench that should have definitely been on the market. RitFit does have a bench that has these on there, but as far as my personal opinions, I think there's a couple of flaws with that bench, but it's not a bad thing for them to offer it. Okay, so I don't know if there's any benches that mimics the feature that this has on there as far as the armrest being adjustable to up and down. I don't recall if the RidFit Gator does that or not, so if someone does know that, can let me know. I'll correct myself in the comments if this is one of the benches that I know of that actually has an adjustable armrest to be able to put these up and down on there. I believe Paired and Powered Up did a review on a bench. I think it's WFLGFT, something like that. And it has armrests on there. It also has an adjustable headrest. And from the looks of it, and I forgot to ask them if the armrests are adjustable, but I believe it is just from the pictures that I've seen from Amazon. But this is one of the few that actually, this was the only one I know outside of the WFL one that Paired and Powered Up has, that actually has the pull pin for the armrest. And it just makes it very, very easy to pull it out. But I just feel like this bench needs to be sold in the market, in the U.S. market. It's a phenomenal bench. It's a very unique bench. There's just having the gator teeth with the foot pedal down. That just is just one of my absolute favorite features. It just makes it so easy to move in and out of. Everything about this just ticks off correctly. I have nothing negative to really say, other than the powder coating could be a little bit better. It's not the best, but it is very durable. It's just those markings will show in those spots. And there was a couple of nicks when I got it, but I mean, that's just how things come, you know, when you get stuff shipped over in the crate. I did wish that this was able to store upright correctly with a lock pin that would lock the teeth in place so that way they didn't move. It's a nice durable bench. It's 90 pounds, give or take, so it's heavy without it being super heavy. My D-Muse is like 130 pounds, so it's a very hefty bench. But this is a very, very solid bench, and for the price, I mean, you're not paying that much more than you would for any other bench here in the U.S. from Rogue, Rep, or other companies, but none of them are going to have what this offers. So this is the TT Flex utility bench purchased off of Alibaba. This is my last purchase that I made from them. Hopefully I stay off of there because they took a lot of my money, but that's the joys of having a gym, is to switch out machines and equipment when you want to get something upgraded and better. So I see this bench being around here for quite some time. There's not a bench that I can see that would be better than this. I don't want an all-in-one bench that can do everything. That's not what this gym is for. I made sure to have equipment specified for what I want to use. So again, this is Danny with DD Fitness. This is my third series from Alibaba. The next review that's going to be coming out is these boys right here from EvoPal. These are their new 3x3 level arms. I have a lot to talk about. A lot of good stuff and a lot of things that need to be improved on these to make these budget level arms the best level budget arms. But right now, they're giving a very hard run for their money to have anything that can compete better than these as far as the price range goes. So watch out for that video. That'll be coming out in the next couple of days. If you know me and you watch any of my videos, you know I love level arms, and so I'm always looking for ways to use them and do hacks with them. So keep a watch out for that. If you appreciate these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. Keep in touch with me on Instagram, as I do put a lot more content on there than I do on videos on YouTube. And thank you for watching. And as of the other day, we just hit 400 subscribers. I know that that's a small number for people, but for me, organic growth is better than no growth. So I'd rather have the slow growth and have you appreciate the videos and the content I provide you. So make sure to like and subscribe, keep a watch, and I have a lot more stuff to come out. There's several more things that's going to be coming to light in the gym that's new, so I really look forward to giving it to you. So you have a great day, and see you on the next video.